Hey folks, welcome back. It's been a long time since I've done these streams, so bear with me if I fumble here and there. But yeah, we're gonna be continuing with chapter 17, or chapter 16 rather, of Housamo's main story. That has not fully been released translated, so this stream is actually just going to be for today and tomorrow. I believe there's going to be 6 parts in total for part 1 that has been translated. As for part 2, we will just have to see whenever that gets translated. But yeah, to recap where we last left off. In chapter 15, we finished off the chapter with the rule makers, and it seems their plot had been foiled by the protagonist and friends. And because it seems like the Game Masters wants to reset the game, they had summoned a bunch of starmen coming down from their base of operations, which seems to be coming from the top of the Tower of Babel, maybe. And that is pretty much how the chapter 16's plot ended. So we're going to go ahead and explore chapter 16's part 1 now. So this is going to be Game Masters Exters. I think that's what it's called. Let us up right in... not in Chiyoda. So yeah, 6 parts for today and 6 more parts for tomorrow, and I think that should be the entirety of part 1. Let's hop right in. This should be tuition. There are a bunch of people out there who can only feel at home in futuristic cities like this, you know? People like me. The type of person who could never mesh in or jive with the place they were born. The type of person who struggles to only find a place like this, where they can finally belong. Word on the street is, you'd be surprised to know just how many folks like that are in this Tokyo. Take the person beside you, the one who's always been there. They might just be the sort I'm talking about. Who am I talking about? Yeah, no, good question. What was I talking about again? And there is Kiyoma. Spick and span. I think the last time we saw him was in chapter 14, actually. I didn't think I'd make it back to the Shinjuku alive. The man tips his head back, eyes tracing the old streets and familiar towers he used to know, whispering to himself. He hadn't thought he'd ever come back when he left. His mind and body had been ravaged by years upon years of tribulation, and entering a classroom to teach the youth was beyond his capacity. Yet, here he is. Not something he predicted, that's for sure. Or maybe it just means there's no place they can live but here. What's the holdup, old man? I shouldn't waste my time thinking about now, I guess. This should be a flashback, because Yama should be mega dead, or at the very least not among us right now. Ooh. Hello, map theme. Outer Ward. Prologue. Hey there, Triton and Jin, who got his variant recently. Mr. Kiyoma! Mr. Kiyoma! We were so worried. We thought you'd never come back. But we believe, Mr. Kiyoma. We believe. Oh wait, that's right. They were looking for him, and now he just walks back in. He just walks back in. Believed in our bond with the teacher we protected the school with. Oh my god, my voice. I forgot how hard this shit was. Mr. Jin, Mr. Triton. Sorry for my absence. Thanks for looking after the kids while I was gone. Oh my gosh, stand to you. In the same room as Kiyoma. Say it ain't true. Hey, you all hear what happened in the big guild battle in Tokyo a bit ago? Oh, you mean how all the Ween yields got to... That's called collective action. Got together into a huge alliance and charged into the rule makers. Kicked their butts. That one. And they say they just let them go. One of the 3 true guilds, my ass, getting on like that. 2 of the executives vanished too. Gotta wonder what's gonna become of the guild battles now. Of course, it's typing. Hey, he just now. You're really a person. You're not AI, are ya? There's been so many bots lately. Damn. It's like they outnumber humans and transients. Wait. Hold on. I know Utopia's a battle area now. But seriously, what's going on in here? Ooh. Then this, Saturnus's, dance studio? That was a good nap. So, where was I again? The Cuniculus Styrian rubs his sleepy eyes and picks himself up from the sofa he's been sleeping on. There are plenty of people around him, all in the same attire as he is, still snoring away. Beyond the magic mirror is a dance stage that shines with glitz and glamour of exclusive nightlife. Judging from the room's decor, the local has to be the VIP room of some club somewhere. Oh, that's right. I snuck into my pal's place last evening and... ooh boy, we had a good time. Yeah, Tua Shen's like a god of homosex, pretty much. At least in Chinese mythology. Well, time to dip out. We gotta do this again sometime, gang. Zaijian! The Therian transient lays kisses on cheeks of all the sleepers and leaves the room. Oh, okay, so it was quite an orgy then. More than one person, huh? East Tokyo, more commonly known as Future City. The city has taken on a new face after the Great Guild War. The Cuniculus Styrian leaps from rooftop to rooftop, looking down onto streets in the near future. Was there a bunch of starmen earlier? Are we not going to talk about that? Oh, how kind! What a beautiful sight! And the breeze up here feels great! Parkour is a school of urban movement techniques where the practitioner runs and jumps along rooftops, climbs up walls, and performs daring flips to land. It forms the core of the Therian's favorite pastime, observing all the nooks and crannies of the futuristic city through exploratory parkour. In the skies above the city, he feels the joy of being alive, the pleasures of freedom and the anxiety that accompanies it. The city bears no scars or signs of destruction. It stands proud and vigorous, as though all had been reversed and undone, of course. Yet the people milling about the streets wear different expressions than they had until last evening. Long ears twitching intently, the transient eavesdrops on what passerbys have to say to each other. Hey, cuties. With Lady Amadros into hiding, what are we to do? What can we do? That's obvious. We carry on the fight on our own. But how can we hope to fight without the one who has guided us at the helm? So spoke the central rule-maker soldiers. Our eavesdropper can tell blatant concern has been spreading among them, from the sound of it. Yeesh! A lot's changed while I was living high and sleeping long, huh? Sweet! Found pal. Ni hao, Yuzume. How you doing? Oh, Tua Shen. Took you long enough to show your face. Do you know how much crap our guild is in wait, you're already on the outside. Yep, I danced from the Rulemaker a while back. Right before a real deal battle, huh? You know, you always were good at seeing things coming. I mean, Uzume glares at the heterochromatic transients, Therians, one red eye. So, what gives? Ditched us, ditched the room eyes, but you're still hanging around our portal. Look, if you get snatched by one of our bosses and re-educated, that's all on you, so don't come whining to me. Re-educated, she drops casually. I mean, you already know the answer to that, yeah? I'm the type you can't live anywhere but in a city like this. Momontai! No problem. I got this. Future's my thing, yeah? No one's catching me, cross my heart. So anyway, mind telling me what happened? As a solid, you know, to someone in the same school who used to be in the same guild. can't just stay mad at you, can I? Fine, but for real. You low-key gotta apologize, alright? I got like a buttload of stuff I want to lay on you. But like, you've been getting ghosted in love all your life. I just, for real can't date you. I mean, Uzume begins explaining what happened to the Cuniculus Therian to Shen, including the current state of affairs from the perspective of the rule makers, one of the 3 true guilds. Let's check on the most important numbers regarding the game in this Tokyo. First, the current state of affairs. The guild battle has once again returned to the stalemate. Horus, rule representative of Aru and one of the rule makers' executives, begins the explanation. Let's see it. Horus is still alive. Before the battle began, we possessed a numerical advantage over both the warmongers and the invaders. Yet with the retirement of Mikhail and Matarasu, the board completely changed. Oh wait, this is Aho Mazda. I forgot how he sounds. There are a minimum 4 rule representatives and no rule rankers in the West at present. Oh, look at that. I was always wondering about the count. So the 5 warmongers right now is Balor, Tita, Yoritomo. Who is that? Is that Mephistopheles? No, this one is Mephistopheles. No, this one is. I actually legit forgot who the 2 in the back are. Oh well. 5 if we can't Balor out Shir the Nook, but he has imprisoned himself since a previous loop. Who are these bozos? Seriously, what the heck? Why can't I remember them? His actions began to stand out after the loop started, though it remains to be determined whether he should be counted among the fighting forces or not. In the south, meanwhile, the invaders have at least 2 world representatives among their ranks. And this loop, the reserve world representative of Olympus, Shinya Tennoji, has distanced himself from the guild. So that would be Temujin as well as Heron. And that's for us rule makers of the East, that we have 5 world representatives on paper. We have come to realize that we should not count Utopia's world representative as a player. Yeah. Seems like, what was it? MX Mother was a representative. Yeah. My friend Mikhail and the others proved that she was in cahoots with the game's administration. If you can even call this fucking thing a player. What is this giant orb? Indeed, Corpacode. At the very least, there is reason to believe the game's operation is not entirely fair. Really, you don't say. Consider the external guild known as the Extras joining the battle, as well as the actions the Game Masters took after. We should by all means be well within our rights to summon them to court and be given a thorough explanation. Otherwise, with all that in mind, the 3 true guilds are maintaining their silence as they observe the situation. That is where we are. Right, all 3 have been neutered, so I kind of assumed the Game Masters and the Extras would take over. So, that's what's up, huh? See you on the lowdown, baby. Love ya. So, hey, to Shen. Like, what are we planning next? You mean, like, what classes am I gonna take next semester? I'm not asking about school, you furball. I mean, guild battles? What's your move? Oh, that hassle. Not my scene, Nancy. Ain't we all just sort of living now, right? Huh? Then why the hell do you even ask for? Well, I gotta know about the dangers, you know. I don't really want to go and die again. Plus, from the sound of things, we won't be seeing any big brawls anytime soon, so... Yay! Guess I'll just go hop around, yeah? More rooftops out there. Catch you later, Uzi. Peace! Hold on a second, Stumper. Let me ask you something first. You said you met your first love back in your world, right? Is she talking to herself? She's talking to herself. And you were spending with them. You didn't mind losing your life for them? You ever, like, think you'd want to find something like that again? Like in another world? Oh, okay, he's here. I don't. I mean, we live in different worlds. I said it before, didn't I? I can only live in futuristic cities like this one. And I mean it. After answering, Tu Shen leaps across to another rooftop and once again goes hopping along the heights. Oh, Hyun-chan, and others who may be in chat right now. Come to think of it, where's my uncle? The trophy, I mean. Back in his portal of Shinkyō here, along with the Overseer, back from the grave. With the Overseer? But I was told his body was no longer capable of life. What? Kyoma. Okay. What the heck? Yeah, Kyoma just like, hi guys, I'm back. You missed me? He's like, yeah, I just came from the grocery store. Again. When the anomaly in the Yoyogi ended, I recovered Solomon's remnants and recombined them. As is my duty, obviously. Oh, okay, so all three pieces have been combined? Really? Off-screen of all things? That was like the main plot contrivance, and now they brought together Exodi off-screen. It is through the fall of Solomon that the Overseer was able to evade death, so to speak. Oh yeah, Solomon totally did die because Kirito stabbed him, or was it Bigfoot? I forget one or the other. Who dis? You found? Oh, it's Onion Capone. Corpocora, Taurus, Ahura Mazda. Greetings to you all. I trust you've been well. Onion Capone? You have a lot of nerve showing yourself before us. The fifth member of the Rulemakers to arrive, Agisuma's world representative, Onion Capone, enters as though expecting a warm welcome. Taurus shoots him a glare. After all, he was a major obstacle to them until just a few days ago, having formed the largest faction in the east with Mikhail and the Matarasu. Enough, Horus. There is no merit to our arguing out of court. Though I would like to share what you know with us, Onion Capone. How deep in bed are you with them? Particularly with our guildmaster. When you acted, just how much were you colluding with her? Oh, we're talking about Curran, right. Ahura Mazda asks about their own overseer, the girl named Curran and her robot. How much was I colluding with her, you ask? Obviously not at all, Ahura. You should know as well as anyone how fond I am of all things related to humanity. But I'm afraid only half of her is human. A little lacking when it comes to winning me over, you see. My goals happen to align with Mikhail and the Matarasu's. What's more, they had sought to expose the administration's untoward operations. After all, it all started with them seeking to expose Curran's collusion with the system Utopia. Oh yeah, that's what they were doing. They had their alternative thing. They're kind of fed up with the Game Masters or something like that. All that bad blood aside, I'd rather speak more about humans now. Take, for example, the human who became half of those child prodigies, Kyoma Mononobe. I forgot. You're gonna have to get used to this. It's you can change the color of your name, but you have to do something atrocious like this. Hey there, Ara. Are you sure you should be up? Koji and others were worried about how long you were out for. Your body and your mind must have taken quite a beating. You can't just walk in and pretend nothing happened. Somehow, this body of mine feels a lot better than I expected. I've been speaking with a lot of people these past few days. Shiro, your other friends, and many students from other places. And how about the other teachers? They weren't about to let you go. I was with them for 3 days and 3 nights until they collapsed. They're happily asleep in the night duty room around now. It's a nickname. I'll change it after this playthrough part. It's something that lets you change the color of your name in the user interface, but clearly not in the story. That's pretty much what I was born for. My toughness is all I've ever had going for me. Still, loop after loop sure did break me down. I even gave up once. I'm sure a lot of you want to ask... there's a lot you want to ask about. So, Arathan, where do you like to start? Who are you really? Are you human? What were you trying to do? That, huh? Got it. I'll answer as much as I know. Though I really do have to mull over where to begin. Well, let me start with the basics of who I am. Do you remember the exception you met in Yurikucho? The one with your face. With a nod, Mr. Mononobe begins to explain about Solomon. Alright, let's go to my settings real quick and freaking change my username. Yeah, you can change your name. But a bit awkward. Okay, we're good. We're good. There you go. Let's continue with part 2 of New Life. Tuition, transient resident of the future city. He was originally from Penglai. Before his shift in transience, he was but a humble human. This is his story. A story from back in the days when he could not see his own future, in more ways than one. Even a carefree playboy like me was once a young, naive lad, dreaming of the day he'd have his own love story. Hey, I'm being serious. I believed the day would come when I would star in one of those romances I dreamed up, you know? But I fell for someone I shouldn't have, given the place and time. I'll spare you the deets for now, but the love of my heart was someone most people back then would never have believed. I'm the type whose feelings of love and instinctual urges are stuck together like this, you know? Even back when I was a humble human. The person I fell for had a secret no one should sneak a peek at, but when curiosity came knocking, well, I couldn't say no. Ooh, rip. I was charged, indicted, and executed. That was it for me. That's life, isn't it? You never know or how easily it'll go bye-bye. I mean, I can't say I was innocent of peeping, and the rules back then were the rules. In any case, I learned a pretty important lesson from that. That I was the main character of any love story. So there I was, dead and gone. But for some reason, one of the bureaucrats in the underworld saw fit to give me another life. With the role and rule to help those who fell in love in much the same way I did. And a sacred artifact. This red eye of mine that lets me peep a little into the future. And a rabbit body, all the better for hopping over whatever obstacle gets in my way. Ever since being summoned to Tokyo after all that, you'd better believe I've been living it up and enjoying being among the breathing. No matter who I fall for here in the city, no one gives a damn. No one's running to give me the noose for falling for the wrong person. Out here, there are just so many different types of people that no one's able to come up with the right answer to how love is supposed to be. We got people with no gender. We got people with 3 genders. We got inorganics and people who reproduce with, like, information. Anything goes in big old Tokyo. So I enjoy taking romance with my fellow travelers, giving advice here and there on occasion. That Tokyo I thought was a paradise. Just the best place to be, the best place around. That was only because I didn't know what the far future held. Quite the philanderer. Back home, I was the one misunderstood. I've never been in the shoes of the one unable to understand. Hell, it wasn't until now that I'd imagined a future where I would be one of the ones who just doesn't get it. I said, anything goes in all flippancy, but I didn't understand what that truly meant. now that's some good night breeze. It really feels like we're the stars of the town. Shen lets out his joyful shout as he leaps from building to building, higher than anyone. His red eye allows him to see into the very, very near future. It lets him dodge any form of risk at the very last second. This has left him with an appetite, perhaps an addiction, to danger. He's enjoyed thrilling romances of all sorts of species. He feels like the protagonist of romance story at the height of its lovey-dovey core, with the fear of his life ending a mere relic of the past. Huh? Yet in a certain corner of the future city's moonlit streets, he finds himself stopping. Ooh, what was that? What was that just now? Among the denizens of the city, there can be no doubt that Shen was the first to see it. Indeed, his eye, able to see just a little into the future, saw something. Something strange? How about I slip over and have myself a peek? What I'm about to tell you is territory you're not going to want to peek into lightly. But you, of all people, deserve to know. I'm telling you everything. Ah! Master! Father, too? Solomonas. I'd like to hear what I'm about to speak as of well. Solomonas? Is that Solomon's real name? Holy shit, he has a full name. What is that? What is that? Ars Almado Solomonas, equated to the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. He would be the Holy Spirit. What the fuck is this shit? The little Solomon is the Holy Spirit? I guess that makes sense. He's always on your shoulder. Think of him as being the man King Solomon conjured up with one of his arcane spells. Hey, no way, I just changed this. Okay. Ariston. Maybe it's because of my other nicknames. Solomonas. You met the exception King Solomon, yes? Mm-hmm. In times past, there was a man who made a wish to God to be all-knowing. This wish was granted. The king was conferred a ring by Michael, the angel in the highest station of all heaven. That king's name was Solomon. I'm sure you have picked up on it, but he is one of the first who began the game conducted in this Tokyo. Yet an omniscient being cannot be contained within the enclosed confines of Tokyo. Because to know all this Tokyo contains, one needs a brain, or a computer, with a mass greater than its entirety. Omniscience can only exist outside the world. That is why Solomon required a body with which to act on the inside. That body is me, Kyoma Mononobe. King Solomon, resurrected in the body of a distant relative. You could call me a clone from his days of youth. It's probably not the easiest tale in the world to process, but we're about to get into the real danger about now. I'm just one man. More were needed. More bodies. As far as I know, the game in this Tokyo was made by 3 beings. The first was Solomon, whom I mentioned. The second was someone else you saw. The world representative of Utopia. And next mother. The one who came from the other world of Utopia. This Tokyo's future. If you can call that an entity, that fucking orb. You mean MX Other? That's right. The being who had surpassed human understanding. We'll get to that later, though. First comes the last of the 3 who started the game. Who's the last one? Though it wasn't a person, but an organization. A research organization called the Laboratory, run by Tokyo denizens in a previous era. That name's familiar. Is this the same thing that Duo's from? Indeed. That is where the guild masters of the 3 true guilds I have faced hail from. I see. So Isaac and Bertoro and Curran and Duo are not actually affiliated with MX Other, rather they're allying themselves with them, but not under the same umbrella. Those child prodigies were artificially designed and birthed through the laboratory's efforts. I doubt I've met them more than a few times at most, and there's virtually no way they see me the way I see them, but... biologically, they're all my children. That's the main reason this youthful Solomon, was created in the first place. The genetic information I had to offer was used to mass-produce children with every artificial means imaginable. I was assigned to be your overseer after all that was done. From my point of view, anyway. Well, these aren't too big revelations. I think this was pretty much inferred from what we knew so far. Except for Laboratory being one of the co-creators of this game. Well, the co-creators in general, but it's good to put a name on them now, rather than speculating. Why do something like that? The laboratory was one environment of many created, where such an accomplishment would be allowed. Oh, so it's one of those labs, huh? Any form of life was accepted, whether angel, demon, or robot. Clone or test tube baby, it made no difference. The laboratory's objective was the birth of a perpetual system. They called it the creation of new life. A new form of life? The humanity that would play the leading role in the future. That's what they called new life. Okay, I think this is tying to the forced acceleration of evolution that the three true guild masters were aiming for. Or the geniuses. Leading role. That sounds familiar. Part of that was artificial immortality. The research conducted at Fujimi Academy in Chiyoda Ward. This is where Ark is from. The old game, where they created small-scale battle zones, gave the kids otherworldly powers, and made them fight. Right, that was a plot point that we passed by real quick. And that's where the Ark and the others are. Correct. And as you know, the old game at Fujimi Academy ended in failure. It ended at the hands of a single survivor, and with the help from the outside. As a result, the old laboratory fell apart. Old laboratory? Indeed, that laboratory no longer exists. Yet the game continues on. I mentioned that the laboratory sought to create a perpetual system, didn't I? That's right. The laboratory still lives, and Solomon and MX Other joined hands. I'm sure you know of the Administrative Guild's portal, the Game Master's Tower of Babel. That is where it lies. The new laboratory is at the top of the tower. Wait, Professor Onyankopon, do you mean to say that the upper level of the Game Master's base contains... Indeed, the new laboratory, from the ashes. The research organization has quite the motivation towards keeping the game going. During the Battle of Yurokucho, they attempted to eliminate the trophy and force a loop. Yeah, that was a thing that happened. Yet, King Solomon's unexpected exit from the game led to them seeking the trophy's capture instead. Confirming its safety, they deployed the extras to force a move on the playing field and regain control. Right, so in Chapter 14, Solomon pretty much just died. Solomon died because of Kirito. I thought he got, like, sucked into the whatever. I don't even know what the fuck happened to Bigfoot, but he turned to an exception or something. The null exception. And then after that, they stopped chasing me, or the protagonist, the trophy. And then when the rule makers planned to expose the Game Masters through Amaterasu and Mikhail sort of succeeded, sort of failed, they sent all these fucking starmen out in order to shut down the game, and that's where we were last time. After the defeat of Mikhail and Amaterasu, They sought direct interference. Even our own Game Master Overseer, who should by all rights stay neutral, took direct action. Yet all their designs were sent veering off course by the unexpected. Which means they'll likely make another move. In fact, they probably already have. What did Tuition see? What the hell is that? Ooh, avant-garde. Are those like distorted cities in cubist form? Oh, that is crazy pretty. It is alive, yet Tu Shen does not want to believe it to be a living being. It isn't just alive. It seems to be sentient, responding to his presence with something akin to emotion. In fact, one might even interpret it as love. Tu Shen retches up all that his stomach contains and continues to heave. Disgust. He feels an unspeakable disgust. He can understand nothing and comprehend nothing. Compelled to perceive something his mind was never meant to contain, much like being force-fed when his stomach had long since reached its limit. Feeling something he does not wish to believe is emotion coming from something he does not wish to believe is alive, he vomits. Realizing that he stands in the same position as those who once killed him, he vomits again. Tu Shen desperately tries to think amid the fog encroaching on his consciousness. If this has appeared in the future city, no, perhaps throughout Tokyo, then what if more of them keep on appearing? Dang. Okay, like seriously, what is it though? You cannot be showing like MX Other and Orb as the main villain, and now you're saying this new threat, which is an abstract cubist painting of a city, is a new threat. What are they after? At the starting point of their endeavor is a pretext that even I have to admit is legitimate. The protection of old humanity. That is one of the reasons they conduct the game in Tokyo. Excuse me? Are you going to learn about the people on the outside? Does this what I mean by old humanity? In the near future, the humans of this Tokyo will lose their habitat. The game consists of looping repetition of this period leading up to that. A looping repetition of the period leading up to that. Because the beings they call Neo Life will play the leading role in the next era. Ooh, are we actually learning plot? Are we actually learning plot that's not just like a random ass guildmaster game, you know, Street True Guild subplot to win the trophy or some shit like that? An actual story about like what's the game is, please. I'm clicking the wrong one. New Life Part 3, let's do this. A dream of days long gone. A dream of time turned back. What was it MSC3 or MSC2? I don't know. MSC2, in this case, is judged to have failed the final test. Like C1, the subject lacks the desired time acceleration aptitude. Acceleration aptitude. Time acceleration aptitude. The subject's body is insufficiently robust and cannot withstand the burden of planned execution. Mass production of the unit is to be cancelled. Evaluation concluded. Beginning preparation for the next test. This is a laboratory. The facility where we were mass-produced. Countless of us were born here, then disappeared before seeing our promised future use. I listened to the death sentence handed down to me for my poor specs, as though it were being delivered to someone else. My brother, discontinued a few days earlier, failed on hardware. I failed on software, it seemed. He had always done well on tests, just as well as Isaac and Robert. Yet he hit the physical limit of his body. He was discontinued a few days ago and carried off. Security mechanoids surrounded and restrained me. I figured I would be discarded at the edge of paradise, like all the others. Showing no resistance, I would be carried off and away. Before that could happen, however. Is this MSC one? What? A mass-produced robot burst through the wall, knocked mechanoids away, and assumed a protective stance before me. Curran! Curran! Brother. Following their programming, the mechanoids immediately acted to suppress the sudden intruder. Brother! The rain of bullets coming toward me looked like it was moving in slow motion. It is then that we were first able to perform a time leap after all our training. You read on the TV tropes and the wiki site. What did you read on that site? Curran. My Curran. Your vital waves are disturbed. Is everything alright? The robot's familiar, calm voice issues from its speakers. I'm fine, brother. I was just dreaming about the recent past. What an unfortunate future they gave us, not being able to forget it. The girl leans against the robot and smiles with obvious feelings of trust. She considers the fact that neither Mikhail nor Amaterasu was able to act appropriately. In her evaluation of events, Mikhail and Amaterasu ignored their own hierarchy and botched their priorities. If they truly prized their sibling above all, they should have abandoned those foundations they call home. Evaluating further, they lost, unmistakably, because they could not abandon their attachments to the old worlds that gave birth to them. After all, she does not care for the old home that tried to cast her and her brother aside. What matters most is what lies ahead. How humanity will survive. How the two of them will survive. She acknowledges that she and her brother are imperfect and would not have been able to survive alone. Though it wasn't as though either of them had a choice. Still, it is better than being bound to a foundation of outdated ideas and falling into destruction. On the day the girl and her robot sibling showed aptitude for the future, the scientists conferred upon them a purpose. Their role would be to carry out Plan C. She made her decision. The two would live for the future. They need no freedom of choice. There is only one path to walk. As brother and sister, their priority is now to live through an age with no conflict. One of the tuition's eyes is blessed with the ability to see a little into the future. Thank you for reminding us 3 times in a row. The scene it sees now encompasses all of Future City, and one would be hard-pressed to avoid it. Though beyond the scope of his comprehension, this vision is surely present and multiplying throughout the city. New life? Whatever do you mean, Professor Anyankpon? New life perfectly suited for the future. The denizens of Utopia, one of the 23 worlds. Only the denizens of one of the worlds? The world representatives of Utopia has begun her next step. Her next action. You keep on going about new this and new that. What's so new about it? The properties, my dear Corporal Code, needed to be adapt to the environment of an era yet unseen. That is what these new life forms are capable of. The system of this Tokyo dictates that new transients arriving must register with the proper legal authorities. Are you saying that our force has been allowing crowds of illegal immigrants to slip into the city under our nose? There's something about that. That's a bit too honest. Not quite, Horace. That's too real for this game. To build on your description, it is more that our system of law has failed to keep up with the age. For beings who live in the present, these immigrants from Utopia, this new life, are difficult to even perceive. Ugh. I was about to voice tuition for no reason. The living beings we know have differences in perception. Think of it like those who ride roller coasters in amusement parks. It will make some sick, but not others. In the same way, our two bilaterally placed eyes allow us to perceive depths in 3 dimensions. Those without organs to observe time are unable to perceive their acceleration relative to it. In contact with such a being, one like ourselves might feel their very existence to be in flux. I can't imagine they'd be able to stand. Okay, so this new threat, this is not just any city. These are the denizens, the future city of the Utopia. And it seems their bodies are different in that they, because of their chronoception's unique abilities, the way the world or themselves, whatever they're bringing in, is not conflicting with the old citizens, the old life. The cyborgs I research are a solid example of that. The new models have 2 consciousnesses in a single body, gaining a greater aptitude for acceleration through mutual observation. So, 2 consciousnesses. That would be Algernon as well as his buddy. I forgot what the other guy's name is. That's Nomad and that's Cocopelli. I think Cocopelli was also like losing his mind, and then he had his same being. I don't know if they're 2 beings or not, but Nomad was definitely not 2 beings. Then you mean to say, Professor, that this new life has already infiltrated our territory and is prepared to attack? Not quite. Seeing something non-incomprehensible, Shen's body chooses flight. Congrats on Rebecca and Lucy on Wuthering Waves. It's all instinct, with no belief you can actually escape back to back it up. A being crawling about in only 2 dimensions cannot escape who lives in 3. What hope does Shen have of escaping one living in an even higher dimension, accompanied by incalculable numbers? Yet he does escape. I lost them. They do not chase after him. They don't even try. They won't even need the will to attack us. A new life is moving into our future city, and into this Tokyo. The future is set in stone and clear as day. They will form this Tokyo's majority. A certain research report comes to Onion Capone's mind. This is about the EX. Oh no, it's about the Yoyogis. The infamous Academy in Yoyogi in the Shibuya Ward is a little more than a testing grounds for this scientific endeavor. An attempt to probe the possibilities of multiple consciousnesses in the single bodies in this Tokyo. Right, so that's a David and Kyuma, as well as Legion and Gunzo. These names. Shen's mind races as his body leaps from rooftop to rooftop. His eye alone can do nothing. He alone can do nothing. He will need to show himself at the new guild he joined after leaving his old haunt. God damn it. Arthan, Solomonus, there is something I need to show you. We're going somewhere tomorrow. All three of us. Somewhere? Where do you have in mind? Yoyogi and Shibuya Ward. One of the old laboratory's facilities is there. Oh, Yoyogi was an old facility, huh? The next day, in front of Hachiko at Shibuya Station. Hey! Look over there! That's gotta be him, right? Does that help? Whoa! I've never seen him in flesh! Can I take a photo with you? I'm always watching your channel! Huge fan! Would you mind taking my card? Really? Oh, I couldn't be more grateful. Who is? Oh, it's this photo. Long each one. Hey! Thanks for always watching my streams! A Canistarian transient stands among the crowd. Oh, thanks for sharing the goodies. It's pretty tough being so popular and winning so much. Oh! Hey, Long Yichuan! There you are! Shen! Good to see you! Welcome to my humble spot in front of the station. The Canistarian, named Heilong Yichuan, greets him with a smile. You're both Arakawa Wanderers here. Looking forward to today's interviews, yeah? I see. So that's why you suddenly decided to show your face for a change to a Shen. Well, cutie, it just so happens we've hit a dead end with something similar here in Shibuya. Bohemio, Guildmaster of the Arakawa Wanderers, says that to his new member with a wink. Perfect timing. Since our friends are here following up on it too, let's bring along with us. Hey, Long! Hey, Long? Are you able to survive any situation you find yourself in, as long as you're alone? To Shen, you're able to see the future with one of those eyes of theirs, right? That means the two of you will be the perfect pair for this mission. Let's see you two go to work. Oh, hold on, what does Heilong do? Now he can survive. Okay, sure. I'll skip over the intro to the story, but you caught me hitting the wall of my investigation in Shibuya. Heilong Yichuan, beloved by all, as a member of the Arakawa Wanderers. He's been investigating his home turf, following up on clues, the Mega Lines in the previous guild battle. The subject is a group called the Laboratory, cooperating with the world representative of the future world of Utopia. Yet even though he has the home field advantage in Shibuya, he finds himself following a cold trail before long. According to the Mega Alliance's intel from a few days ago, however, the tracks he's been after had been covered up using a future tech. Which is why I'm going to be counting on those weevil eagle eyes of yours, Tuition. I had no idea that our much talked about guild newbie was friends with him, though. Heilong speaks of their mutual acquaintance. Oh, it's Belphegor. I actually don't know how Belphegor sounds. They're more like business rivals than friends. I'm Mr. Freelove, and he's a matchmaker. We're like water and fire. Alright, Pepsi and Coke. Really? Well, I have a lot of sympathy for what the poor guy's been through in the past. Ugh. While walking along the streets, heading away from the Shibuya station, the two stop when Tuition senses something by an alleyway. Uh-oh. That's here! It's the same feeling from before, when I could hardly stay standing. His vision begins to roll, along with the senses. This time, standing proves too difficult. Oh, so we're gonna throw Heilong Yichuan to go in by himself. Got it, Tuition! Leave the rest to me! The Canis transient unleashes innumerable invisible leashes in every direction. They act as lifelines, keeping him alive and stable in a great raging sea. His name is Heilong Yichuan. When it comes to surviving in any kind of environment, no matter how harsh, no one is his better. Heavenly kings and boiling Buddhas, the temple of lords. The love of all my masters sustains me. Okay, let us review my names. What is up with my names? Oh, so we're gonna take a 5-minute break. It didn't go through. I'm dumb. I'm dumb. It didn't go through. Forgot to press save. There you go. You are. So, we'll be returning soon enough. Maybe around the end of the hour. So, take care. Get some water, get some snacks. See you in 5 minutes, guys. I'm back. Alrighty. So that was just the first episode bundle. We're gonna be doing one more episode bundle for today. This is also translated. The Yoyogi Experimental Observatory, Part 1. Interesting name. Let's hop right in. Hailong Ichuan, transient and member of the Arakawa Wanderers, Guild of Drifters and Vagabonds. In times before, he was a dog in the corner of Penglai, raised with love by 17 sailors. I think these are the pirate mobs. Though his masters had wildly different hometowns, appearances, and temperaments, they all had one point in common. They all really loved their dear Hailong. One wrong move would cause a brutal civil war among his masters. Though all looked peaceful and loving from afar, his was a life lived on thin ice, a battle in the shadows of Needle's Edge. Yet, despite the difficulties, it is said that Hailong answered his master's love in turn and equally. With mental strength built atop overwhelming self-esteem, he calmed the brewing storm with a perfect allotment of attention. They say that one of his masters, observing his beloved hound, spoke thus. Perhaps in raising him with such love, we birthed the true monster of self-regard. Ups. Yet, as all things must change, so too did those halcyon days become past. One day, Hailong and the 17 sailors took to the seas, and a great storm took to them. In the midst of whipping wind and raging rains, his master steeled themselves for their fate. As the last moments approached, they spoke their dying wishes. They varied greatly, and they varied wildly, yet one wish they shared in common. They wished that, at the very least, Hailong would survive them. Their wish was granted. His was not. Masters! Why? Don't go! Don't leave me! Huh? He got summoned at that point? The moment of their parting, as he wailed and screamed through tears and his consciousness faded, he wished with all his heart. He knew there was nothing that could have been done. He knew they did not leave him behind because they wanted to. Yet he wanted to be with them to the very end. He wanted them to take him with them wherever they went, even to the depths of the abyss. The knowledge struck him that to be loved by one did not mean to understand them. If he had known their parting would be so sad and tragic, he would have wished to have never been loved at all. If only he had the ability to see into the future. If he had known this ending awaited, he would have never. Regardless of how much he wished, how much he desired, how much he cried, time turns back for no one. Okay, in the original story, the dog survives, but then he dies because he jumps into the graves of the sailors, refusing to leave them. And so he was buried along with the sailors. I believe that's how our religion went. In Tokyo, Hailong had made quite a name for himself. He's one of its most popular professional streamers, hands down. He has survived in a highly competitive market, occasionally dripping into sponsorships from lucrative masters to improve his profile and portfolio. It's not easy to survive in this industry, considering how rapidly people rise and fall. But I can't let myself fade. I have to keep at it so that someday, somewhere, my old masters will see my streams. Just kidding. Pretty strong on sentimentality, huh? That episode won me some more diehards, I bet. He sticks out his tongue in an adorable display of nonchalance. There are all sorts of rules and regulations to follow when continuing business in this town. A ton of compliance to keep up with. Modern streamers have all sorts of demands on them as well. Replaceable creativity, mass appeal, and mysterious X factor. He needed the juice to rule bandwidth. The path of a streamer is like a road lined with infinite signs, a complexity that reflects the modern world itself. Most have no idea which way to proceed, standing right before the array of signs in immobilized confusion. Yet Heilong has a power. It allows them to meet the needs and desires of the many. Ooh, holy rusty stream. Nice frame rate, jeez. The transient is able to sniff out correct answers for everyone but himself. That leads to the optimal choice for his survival, regardless of what he himself desires. You arrive at Shibuya Station with Lil Salmon and Mr. Mononobe. Made it to Shibuya Station. It's always so crowded here. What are the roads so maze-like? Master, if I didn't know any better, I'd say you seem to be a Shibuya rookie. Well, don't you two worry. I'll have you know that I'm a level 3 Tokyo guide, and it would be my pleasure to lead you to our destination. Say, where are we going in? I appreciate the eagerness, Salmonus. Really, I do. Unfortunately, you're not going to find where we're going in any guidebook. Is this old laboratory space really in Shibuya? In a place this hustling and bustling? It's in Shibuya, right? A bit deeper in the urban maze. Mr. Mononobe starts walking, making a show of taking the lead. Wait up! Father? Master? Wait up, please! Meanwhile, in the Arakawa Guild portal. Welcome back, cutie. How are things over there? Ain't none of the guilds making any big moves. They're alright scoping each other out behind the scenes, all. I'm guessing the guild masters and their affiliates are out on and about. Sounds like they'll find us here before long then. Well, we'll move the portal at the next set time, just like planned. Oh my gosh, what is this frame rate? Jesus, this is not a difficult game. It's probably my stream settings. It's been a while since I've done this. New computer setup, right? With the 3 true guilds no longer engaging open combat, Tokyo maintains a period of ceasefire, on the surface at least. Behind the scenes, of course, covert operations and struggles for intelligence are as intense as ever. Even the Arakawa Wanderers, who had just long kept out of guild battles, saw their guildmaster kidnapped just a few days ago. Not wanting to make the same mistake twice, the Wanderers have been sending members to every corner of Tokyo, scoping out the situation. Kusha and the many other Wanderers traveling all over, exchanging information through past notes and face-to-face conversations. After all, people from the administrative guilds are among their contracts, and ideally, the Wanderers want to avoid communication with the app. That leaves Arakawa slow to act in concert with the Mega Alliance and unable to make full use of their advantage. I mean, face-to-face combat has its own perks. Or, not combat, communication. In case it ever becomes compromised, the virtual system of communications, the Arakawa Wanderers is actually quite handy to have. With all that in mind, Rock just understands as an Arakawa Wanderer all too well how important this affair is. No matter how dangerous the excursions may be, the guild will only dig itself deeper into its soul without gaining new information. That's why he has no objection to Bohemia's stance on sending members far and wide in search of information. One thing, however, stands out. Bohemio, there's one thing I want to get straight. Why do you pair them up? What do you mean by that, August? You know damn well what I'm getting at. Why do you pair up the rookie with Heilong? I remember what a mess Heilong was when it first drifted into our board. Looked like he was right on the end of his rope. Like he was there ready to run off and find his old masters or whatever they called that lot. We got together and looked him up with a job, and it looked like he was doing better than anyone. But he's got to be letting it drag. That's got to still be believing that all that stuff that happened back then was his fault. Best thought, if that wasn't for him, his masters could have added some other kind of life that's probably kicking around his head. And that they wished for him to survive and live on his own, the chance that they'll is kicking ain't zero. That's probably the only thing that's keeping him out of the public, hanging on and not drinking himself onto the table. If the guy thinks that sacrificing himself is the best option, though, he'll probably toss out his life at the drop of a hat. Mr. Mononobe stops in front of a quiet alleyway not too far from Shibuya Station. Here we are, you two. This is the entrance to the Yoyogi Laboratory. Father, if my eyes don't deceive me, it looks like there's nothing here. Well, Salmon is unable to hide his confusion as he glances all around. Trust me, the entrance is here, and you should probably be able to see it. He points at the ring you have on. Arthur, you and Solomonos are connected through that ring. Remember the double dragon. Remember sharing sensations with two consciousnesses. Well, Master, you heard him. I can't say I have a solid image of what we're to do, but how about we give it a try? Well, here it goes. Yeah! Yeah! Abracadabra! How about over there? Nope, nothing. How about over here? Come on, Master, keep up! What's that? My eyes were deceiving me after all. I see twisting and turning in the air like... Goodness, what's this? I'll take it you two see it now. It's like something's taking over my vision. A laboratory used to have labs all over Tokyo in the days of old. The most important ones, they hid in spots like these. This is a special portal. An artificial battle zone covered with optical camouflage and radio wave jamming. Very few would be able to find this place, and even fewer still would be able to enter it. You need special properties to go through. Looks a bit familiar. Is this a world collision? Right you are, Arthur. That intuition of yours is mostly on point. The vision you see here is memories of the otherworld utopia. This location is a world collision with it. You may already know quite a bit, but to explain world collisions. They're phenomena reproducing the memories of home belonging to transients locked away in a battle zone. Right, so these memories should belong to someone specific. Is it Nemec's father? Someone's here! Master, look out! You're going to fall! Fall where? I don't know what's up my up from down. Oh, that was close. Are you right, Arthur? Not hurt anywhere, are you? I suddenly feel really sick. Too sick to stay standing. Of course. Someone's not shy. I suppose that's just the age you're at. Oh, I'm glad to see you're alright. As I said before, this is a kind of world collision. That means there will be a transient responsible for the core memories it's based on, of course. Who is this transient? Or on this case, multiple. There are transients from Utopia in this battle zone. Right. So they're considered transients, the denizens of Utopia. Whoever they are. Like Nomad and the others. They're of a different generation than the cyborgs and Robotitans you met. The old laboratory would have described them as new life, the type most adapted to the future. They live in a higher dimension than the humans of this Tokyo. If I were to give it a simpler explanation, it'd be like this. Arthur, are you able to stand in the exact same position as someone else? You can't, can you? But this new life can. Because even if they're in the same place in 3 dimensions, they're elsewhere in time. If person A and person B try to occupy the same coordinates, they'll bump into each other. But if A is here today and B is here tomorrow, what then? They're not knocking heads, that's for sure. They should easily be able to stand in the same spot. That extends to people the day after tomorrow, a year from now, 10 years from now, and 100 years, or later even. All of them can stand in the same spot. You're right to imagine that there's much humans cannot visually perceive beyond this point. Step into this world collision and you'll find countless new life, all existing in different times. New life that will, doubtless, make any normal human feel like their life is in danger. Imagine if someone else were occupying the same exact location as your body and mind at this very moment. Wouldn't that knowledge scare you a little? With that, Mr. Mononobe begins to take a step into the world collision. Mr. Mononobe, maybe don't risk it? Don't worry, I've been here more times than I can remember. Just make sure you two follow me. Alright.
Got it, Master. I'm coming with you.
No, wait, Arthur. Solomonus, what do you think you're doing? Look, I'm the protagonist. I got plot armor. Tell me, Bargus, have you spoken to the rookie, Tuition? Yeah, I have. And I'll tell you, he started to jump into the fire out of curiosity alone, no matter what the lad will have you believe. A long sacred artifact allows him to carve out a space where his survival is absolutely assured. His leashes of light spread out in all directions, showing him the safest route to proceed along.
Tuition, stay by my side. That's where they'll be safe.
Ah, yeah! Now that's something. You really know how to keep a party going, hey Long. Regaining the equilibrium he's almost lost, just like his last encounter. Tuition shouts with relief.
Whatever you say is all over the place. I just can't see it.
But
don't you worry, because I'll protect you.
And if worst comes to worst, save yourself. Escape on your own.
Don't worry about me either. That's long past my turn, you know.
Even on the off chance something happens to me,
I'll be going to see my masters.
Hey, your backstory is really quite nice, but look, there's something over there. Let's go check it out.
Huh?
Over there! Something I've never seen before. Ah, damn, once my curiosity gets going, it just won't stop. That's a completely different attitude he had from the last time he was here.
Wait, weren't you listening to my dramatic speech? You weren't, were you?
Thank you. Jeez, no one was listening to Jeez. We already heard it.
Wait, Tuition, don't rub ahead like that.
Let's get hopping. Hien Hu Precognition. Let's get out of that backstory as fast as possible.
Huh? Hold it, Tuition. The fans want my backstory. You're gonna get yourself hurt if you go on alone.
Tuition goes leaping and bounding while he scrambles to catch up with his hand outstretched. This was from the trailer.
Oh, whoa, what is this place? I've never seen anything like it.
Hey, you haven't either.
Just look at this. Owie, what's the big idea swinging out of nowhere like that?
I'm just going off the old intuition like you normally do, but they're going to be a good combo. Mark my words. I'm with you on what is this place wavelength though. It looks kind of like an old observatory. The two keep glancing all around while they flip through some files left on the desk. Whoa, now this looks like it's pretty important. Hey Long, can you read this thing?
Let's see.
Profesal system pattern. Goodness, I didn't expect someone else to fall for my trap before my prey did. Is this turn? I'm betting it's turn. Who's there? Yeah, only Kern would say goodness.
You can't move.
There were still some records left on paper. I'll be collecting every last scrap of those. Not long after you, Mr. Mononobe, and little Salmon step into the same place. Some sort of observatory. And that's a lot of outer space. This is the old laboratory's central research lab, which they commonly call the Yoyogi Experimental Observatory. Its purpose was to perform parallel observations on multiple loops of the game. There are no signs anywhere that it's been used for a while though, which means Mr. Mononobe's eyes land on some conspicuous tracks left in dust on the floor. There's someone here. Very perceptive, Earthen. Whoever got here first, would you mind showing yourself? Hey, did you miss me? I'm glad to see you're doing well, Trophy. And a warm greeting to you as well, father of ours. You're
back then!
I predicted that you'd come here first, made my way over, and prepared for your arrival. But I'm afraid another pair arrived ahead of you, forcing me to waste my careful preparations. What did you do to them? This is our laboratory, where we were born. I simply applied inappropriate countermeasure to trespassers. It's not yours alone. This is where I was reborn as well. Right, you are, Father. You could not be more right. So tell us, how is it that you can stand on that side of the line and appear to think nothing of it? You're with the administrators, are you not? And you better not tell me you've forgotten what you're responsible for. Right, in the in-game battles, apparently if you move a current beside Kiyoma, she has a dislike relationship with him. She got beef? You sired countless prodigies like us and cast aside like trash. Today is the day you finally pay the price for that, Father. Oh yeah, okay, so it's a... I wouldn't say daddy issues, but it's kind of like a birth existential issue. It is kind of fucked, to be honest. I don't blame her. Alright, let's do Yoyogi. Ooh, we got a battle, 0 stamina. That's why I'm playing this stream right now. That's why my hand has been raised to stream this game. The real reason, because 0 stamina cost. Our first battle for today. Very nice enemy level. Featuring divine materials. Alright. Oh, the team can't be changed. Alright. So much for optimizing resources. It's so disgusting. That life form. I can't stand it. I reject it on a biological level. Who is this? Little Utopia standing by. Test models MSC1 and MSC2 begin the operation at 1600. So they're training now. I am MSC1, a mass-produced robot. I used to be human with an organic body. In the experiments in the old laboratory, I was eventually cast aside for lacking in physical aptitude and then sent to another experiment. It seems I had gone a bit too far ahead of the rest of us, ahead of the other prodigies. I have lived too fast. Thus, my consciousness was salvaged from my body, loaded into a mass-produced robot I've designed myself, and used once again. I had a twin sister born of the same design named Curran. My dear twin, the only one in the world, the only one in the universe. She was left behind all alone in her physical, biological body, and to me, the ability to defend her. It was a blessing. I took it as gospel. I was able to protect my sisters from my plan. I am not alone in this world under these stars. Curran, you are my twin. You are my pilot. With the computations my mind is capable of, far more than what old humanity can manage, I'd show my sister the ideal route forward. Analysis complete. As I can find no route with a predicted score superior to yours, I will follow. Fern is smart. Because she is smart, she follows me. I respect her as an individual. She proves through her actions that my calculations are correct. With you by my side, Kern, there's nothing I can't do. Big Brother's your hero, Kern. Test complete. Processing score. Processing complete. Score. 99.9999999%. As close to a perfect score as you can get. Incredible performance, sister of mine. What's wrong? Curran, beloved sister of mine, what is wrong? It just makes me feel so sick. The slightest difference between us. The two transients groan painfully while laying stiff on the ground, as if stuck with sleep paralysis. I haven't enacted any primitive violence on them. Or past that. I simply made them experience what true temporal acceleration is like. That is all. No, I won't deny the experience might have been administered with a hint of hostility. The memories are returning. A girl in a lab coat and the black mecha appeared in the skies above the future city after the battle with Mikhail and the Matarasu. She also briefly said hi to us that one time, before this point. I have just one last thing to say. Even if you are completely unable to comprehend my words, it makes no difference to me. For we've already determined that every single person in Tokyo is, by definition and by all measure, guilty of sin. And at this time, we consider our personalized research into the extreme situation faced by the locals of the city complete. Our conclusion is as follows. Without a stable majority, any system, any world, is like unto hell itself. This elevates the suitability of our Plan C over that of Plans A and B, clearly making it the optimal solution. I am one of the three child prodigies, alongside Isaac and Bertro. I am the executor of Plan C. You may call me Curran. Please permit me to welcome you once more, now that Utopia's world representative has appeared on the scene. So we meet again. Quite the rapid reunion, is it not, Trophy? Or perhaps I should call you protagonist. Arathan, was that your name? I knew you would come here, so I simply came here ahead of time and waited. What are you planning? Not for you exactly. It is the man behind you I have business with. That Kiyoma Mononobe. My calculations held that he would use his privileges to attempt to access to Yoyogi laboratory. The girl flashes Mr. Mononobe a look filled with hatred and derision. Is this the first time we've spoken as father and daughter, I wonder? In this lab in Yoyogi County were testing grounds made to recreate individuals with aptitude for temporal acceleration. Tell me, how did it feel to offer up designer DNA for us prodigies here? Ugh, oh my god. that is a level of trauma that is probably very difficult to engage with. Okay, yeah, that was really difficult to engage, holy shit. To mass produce a humanity you knew full well had little in the way of future. Yeah, they're seen as less than humans. They're essentially just commodities. Jesus Christ. Not only commodities, but, commodities to dispose of on a drop of a dime. The prodigies were made as parts in your infinite game, made with full knowledge of the limits of these weak mortal vessels. Do you have any idea how many of them, of us, were produced simply to be consumed, Father? I'm afraid I was moved from providing genetic material to other tasks pretty quickly. Do you honestly believe that constitutes a sufficient excuse to any of us? Not at all. Everything I've done to you, I bear responsibility for. That said, Curran, I do have to ask, is that what brought you here? Seeking my acknowledgement and admission of guilt? Obviously not. Sentimentality for the past isn't what animates us. In contrast to her denial, because it is quite clear, the tone in her voice betrays feelings boiling beneath the surface. I figured. I see. I'm not interested in answering any of your questions, Zarathan. As I said earlier, it makes no difference if you cannot comprehend any of my words. You do not need to comprehend what Kyoma Mononobe and I are talking about, and I will not allow you to interrupt. We are linked by genetics as father and daughter, and this is a family matter. He may not be my father, but he is daddy. Who cares about blood relations? You see a flash of hostile emotions in Kern's eyes. Oh, that's so sad, actually. That's even more fucked up. That's like Ash's biological daughter who is treated like refuse and, used as experimental material. Talking to, actual chosen prodigal adopted son. You see a flash of hostile emotions in Kern's eyes. Hold, Kern. Negotiations will fall apart if this keeps up. My calculations indicate that would be suboptimal for the future. Interrupting your smoldering confrontation is a voice so amicable sounding and filled with intellectual confidence that you almost wonder if you're imagining it. What a handsome bot! Now we're talking. Thank you. As per regulations, I express my gratitude. Were you expecting me to blush or something? I do not function at the mercy of ambiguous biological consciousness. Except in a matter concerning my other half, Curran, who remains my biological sister. Future simulation complete. Your calculations are correct, brother, I must admit. I will leave the rest to you. Greetings, Kyoma Mononobe. I am the first unit of Plan C, MSC1. The first unit of Plan C? Wait, don't tell me. You're Clark? That's Clark? Okay, never mind then. I thought Kern was just like a distortion of Clark, but yeah, the original three, fathers of sci-fi. It was Robert, aka Bercho, and Isaac Asimov, and then there was Clark. And it was kind of just like, the C for Kern, but it was straight up a Clark. That's interesting. When I still possess your half-child's organic body, that is what they called me, yes. But now, with my memories and this advanced mass production model, I have settled into the role of teaching and guiding MSC2, Kurt. Guiding and teaching. Plan C! That's right. Plan C was all about teaching. We are the harbingers of Plan C. The plot to spur on the evolution of humanity by having individuals guided by higher beings. We are here, Kyoma Mononobe, to request that you return to your role as overseer of the trophy. Let me make sure of something. From what position do you speak? He gives you a quick glance while raising his question. Forgive my lack of explanation, though we may be former game masters. Our position is somewhat different from those who live in Oshiage's Babel Tower. Allow me to explain. The Administrative Guild of the Game Masters have one job, and that is to continue the operation of the game. It is their duty to make sure the game in this Tokyo's loop does not end, come what may. We, however, the prodigies deployed by the Game Masters, have something of a different role. Right, there was always a bit of a asymmetry there. We are to surveil the actions of the members of the 3 true guilds we are assigned to and record what we see. Then we are to ensure the victory of our assigned guilds, as well as the effectiveness of our plans. Mikhail and Matarasu belong to a system in agreement with our Plan C. We observe them to determine the possibility that twins or triplets might guide their own lesser siblings to greater heights. So, connection to Kern and Clark being twins. We have Mikhail and Shaitan. and maybe even his... No, it's pretty much just Shaitan and Mikhail who are siblings, as well as Amaterasu, Tsukiyomi, and the other guy. I keep on forgetting the other guy's name. It's Aso. Now, with the two of them out of the game, we have turned our attention to another player. Kyoma Mononobe. I'm sure you and the trophy saw the world representative system Utopia. MX Other. We have calculated that MX Other is currently the game's most powerful contender and most likely victor. You seem awfully confident that MX Other is going to win this. And if the upper crust of the Babel Tower is giving that view of yours their silent approval, I'm guessing you really were connected behind the scenes. Mr. Mononobe mentions the names of Tokyo's tallest radio tower in his observations. Babel Tower. It's the whole reason Yoyogi's old laboratory fell out of use. They moved their base to Babel Tower. After explaining that he has not inherited every memory from this time, as someone, Mr. Mononobe continues. That they abandoned this facility after I had left means that there must be something here they didn't want me to know. Something apart from, or in opposition to the goal of that Solomon helped them to achieve. I'm not wrong, am I, MSC1? You truly are a clone of the all-knowing king, and I will say that you are indeed correct. Brother. Curran, he is not testing the waters to extract information. Kyoma Mononobe speaks out of certainty. Right, so he's not leaking information. As I'm sure you already know, there is a colony in Tokyo that houses a large number of new life. Yet as of the present, new life has not yet been perceived by the old incumbent life as life. Babel Tower has been granted the power to force him into making that acknowledgement. The tower's function of language unification is meant to make them accept new life as residents of this Tokyo. Interesting. Right, that was the original thing about that Tower of Babel. Then the world representatives of Utopia can use that state to immediately gain the city's majority. Just to really believe they are life. By sending the new life under her control to Tokyo, MX Mother can hack Tokyo systems of majority rule. No matter what other players do, we'll have another loop on our hands. I see, so we're going to flood the number of players, the number of citizens of Tokyo with, the infinite time-spanning denizens of Utopia. That is the reason for our request that you, Kyoma Mononobe, reprise your role as overseer of the trophy. A victory for MX Other is a victory for us, as she is in our guild. Therefore, we will be afforded the prize, as will be our right. That will become a possibility should you return to your role as our overseer. That is all I am able to communicate to you. By its definition, the system requires the trophy to have an overseer if the game is to continue operating and produce a victor. Hold it, you mean MX Other wasn't cahoots with the admins? I would deny it. My answer should tell you everything if you are capable of thought, yes? That's not fair. Oh, oddly rival. Welcome, welcome. A baffling reaction. Does the thought not occur to you that the whole thing was rigged? Yeah, that's how it is in real life too. This game isn't fair, it just makes you believe it's fair, because that's part of the game's illusion. This is a game that constantly loops, turning back time. How could it work without cooperation from the future? Do you know of any technology from any time in the past up to the present that can control time? If you do, let me know. Your life too has been rigged from the start, all laid out and scripted. You and Kyoma Mononobe were linked by that hexagram, and he kept that quiet from you. Can you honestly say that your future has not been rigged or scripted? Yeah, okay. The curtain comes down. This was never, a fair game to begin with. And, to believe otherwise is just, an artifice of the game itself. Curran's voice echoes loudly throughout the old observatory and is followed by sounds that deafens the ears. Ooh, what is that? Lag. Jesus Christ, game. You might be right. No, you're wrong. No, she's totally right. Even so, that's here now. Choice I make now. This will be later on. I don't even know what this is supposed to be. Belongs to me as I am now. Belongs to no one else but me. Convince me I wasn't betrayed. Kern? Clark. With no E. I'll say this now. I no longer pursue Solomon. In other words, my answer is no. I'm afraid I'm not going back to being this game's overseer, no matter who demands it of me. Can I hear your reason, Father? I'm not in any position to say this as your parent, Karen, but it is because I see how you follow your brother. Your way of life looks like something you think is already chosen for you. And it looks like having your brother as your overseer is somewhat hard for you to accept. Do you see me as a pitiable figure made to follow after my brother? Are you trying to persuade me otherwise with an uninspired lecture? No, I don't mean to trample on your will or tell you you're wrong for following. But if you believe you do it because you have no choice, then I want to tell you that that is not the case. Because no one, absolutely no one, can control every step of an individual's fate. Even if you think you could not have found any other paths, there are futures out there that none can predict. Don't talk like you know everything. Say what you will about me, but don't you dare say another word about my brother. And now there's two of them. Yeah. Well, how's that related? Is it because of time manipulation? Maybe, yeah. Maybe there's more than one of them because of time manipulation. Back then, during the battle against the Genociders, Nyarlathotep used his teleporting ability to multiply into 5. If you remember right, he explained it as him being anywhere and everywhere in space, or something of the sort. That's right. We can occupy anywhere in time. These are the selves we've called back from the future. As long as we are in a world collision with Utopia, this is but a trifle to us. In a world where majority rule dominates, life does not have a control over time, stands no chance against life that does. This is our answer. We can bring with us ourselves from the future of our choice. We stand no chance. Says who? There's no telling till we try. Hey! Hey, Long! Think you might be able to move? Ugh. Yeah, Tsuishin, I think I can manage it standing. Kern notices two in the corner of her vision, but immediately casts them from her thoughts. If they show even the slightest bit of needless hostility again, she will simply consign them to temporal hell once more. The two of you seem to think you won. But this is your first time experiencing this route, isn't it? So it's all up in the air. There's no predestination here. Allow me to show you, as your predecessor and father, that in this world there exist features that no one can predict or control. Okay, he's not going to show us his 5-star. Well, there's no destiny to sit on. Oh yeah, Tushen's just right there. Sure, let's do this thing. Okay. That's a bit weird. Of how 3 of them are eliminated, but not these 2. Maybe this is like the original 2. That's why. Unmoving. Sure.
ら軽く飛び越えられたでしょ。
Such cool music for an auto win battle.
シェシェ、バイバイ。
Alright, we should be finishing up now with the last part for, I think the prologue actually ended with the last chapter. Maybe this is the end of the prologue. I'm not sure. But this is still going to be the last part for today, at least. Another battle. 69. Nice. We're going to be facing Kern again. And, Clark. What? Same exact... Oh, wait. There's Salman. He's back. Why is he level 69? That's funny. Another day, another dream. A dream of the man who chose omniscience on that day. In time past, there was a human said to be as close as one can be to omnipotent God. That would be Solomon, who was like the son of King David or something like that, aka the thing that's hugging Kima. It started with a simple wish, a wish to know all. Whether from desire to save the world, rage at his powerlessness, simple curiosity, or vengeance towards his fate, I cannot know the reason the king made his wish. What I do know is that, much like how transients of other worlds command various supernatural rules, this man, this human, simply wished for access to omniscience. Thus did he become a being far exceeded mortal perception. The people of old worshipped him as God's representative, believing with all their hearts that leaving matters to their perfect king would ensure success. This was the faith much like the one surrounding the future intelligence, MX Other, the heartfelt belief that creating a superior intelligence to rule will solve all problems. So this was like the golden age of the Davidic rule of the Jewish kingdom in Israel or something like that, before a bunch of things happened and then that spread out. Yeah. Yet the wishes they brought to Salomon came from all different directions, wildly disparate and contradictory. Much like the desires to make someone in particular happy and the desire to treat everyone equally cannot coexist. Omniscience cannot answer which wish should be granted, because that decision falls on the king himself. And the very fact that communication of these wishes relied on language saddled them with a logical limit difficult to overcome. Thus did the king find himself isolated, unable to depend on emotion for guidance. He chose to place majority rule as his rock instead. I'm sure someone somewhere would say that because say that he became a system complete unto himself. Even now, I don't know if there was another better answer out there. Looking back, I still feel like that was the one thing the king did not know. That's the reason I'm sure that he worked with the king, with the Tokyo Laboratory and MX Other. Yet to manifest himself directly in this closed world of Tokyo was difficult for the all-knowing king. And making direct clones of people was strictly prohibited. A taboo of the belief system over there, apparently. Having been born of the rules of Utopia, MX Other could not break that law. Yet using her time-leaping technology, she was able to get around it in a shocking way. MX Other, world representative, and Utopia's technology made it possible. By bringing together Solomons from separate times, I was born. Well, what am I imagining here? This is like beyond self-cess. What is this? Sex and race were hardly barriers to the process. Stem cell technology, now common in Tokyo, made short work of them. You're telling me you took like a sperm cell from like a Solomon, took an egg cell which you converted from the other Solomon, and then you made it to make Yoyogi or something? I can't even imagine what they're talking about when they say they reproduce them without using cloning technology. Indeed, MX Other and the laboratory already had other world technology that enabled sex, gender, and race to be changed depending on the subject. So if we are being precise, it wouldn't quite be correct to call me a clone of the all-knowing king. For while I'm a clone of Solomon, I'm also his son. Born to Solomon the father and Solomon the mother. Okay, so I'm on the wrong track here. Somehow. Kind of cursed. I was making shit up, but apparently I'm on the right track. Legally, I am classified by the laws of this island as a distant descendant of Solomon. More like a direct descendant. What is this? Born of his journey into the Orient. I don't know much about any journey that he took, but I do know that he was ruling over the first temple of the Judaic kingdom. Yet who would believe that logical? Who could swallow such rhetoric? You found out about monocest? That was definitely a way to show it. Two overlapping, well, you know, I'm not opposed to self-cest, but like that was still a pretty bizarre way to describe it. Is it not obvious to anyone's eyes that I am Solon, one and the same? In terms of DNA alone, there is no difference between us. No one can distinguish between Solomon and me, especially now with him gone. I can no longer access omniscience, but I can understand how Solomon felt. The rumblings of a man's heart. Just where did I go wrong? Was it in seeking omniscience? Was it in being born at all? Nothing says it better than 3 dots. There's no better answer than just like, look away. Are you rejecting the idea of on an instinctual level? Or are you simply confused? I'm afraid I can't tell from your expression. Either way, the process is technologically feasible, much like I have just shown you. Engrave mine of current onto thee. Chrono acceleration! Right. I was gonna say, even though we beat her super easy, she can just summon infinite clones from the future. Once again, following Current's cry comes the mech spinning its sights like the hour hand of a clock. When it makes full rotation, even more immense mechs make their appearance. Father, no, Solomon, we will never forgive you. Not for time immemorial. You bear responsibility for our suffering. It was because you gave birth to him that my brother was forced to his limit. Okay, so maybe he actually gave birth to them literally too. Now that we're talking about like female Solomons here. Solomon the mothers. We artificial child prodigies all had these inborn defects. It never clicked with me that they were genetic defects because of like inbreeding or some shit. Oh my god, it just clicked with me. That's why Bertra's body had to be replaced. And he turned into like a cyborg. That's why Isaac literally lost his entire body. Isaac's fucking dead, remember? This is an AI of Isaac. This is AI Isaac right now. Isaac the boy is dead. And is now like one with the computer underground network. And apparently like Clark was apparently replaced too because he was transforming too fast, so his body was put into a robot, and also apparently Kern was failing too. What the fuck? It's because of genetic defects from inbreeding with yourself. Oh my god, that's so fucked. Truly more reasons to hate Kiyoma. You know, you can say, you know, Daddy Kiyoma all you want. This is some pretty wretched stuff he's doing to his kids. What the fuck? Not only is he subjecting to experiments and not giving a shit about them, not only did he condone this experiment with the 3 original benefactors for this game, but he also gave them a bunch of, like, inbred, like, genetic diseases. And then he's just like, the choice is yours. Like, the choice is not yours if you're born with it. Jesus Christ. I look back fondly on those days, researching with the geniuses, engaging in fierce debates. Truly, just like in the actual battle, just it goes the same way in the story. Fuck Kiyoma, all my homies hate Kiyoma. Though perhaps we gotten a bit too proud, and how the further we advance as beings, the more we lost our dignity as humans. It happened to me, the initiator of Plan A, then to the initiator of Plan B, and then, well, the boy they called Charles and Clark soon followed. Who was Charles? I already forgot. Was that Kern? No, Clark is the boy, MSC1. I already forgot who Charles is. That's right. The 2 boys with the exact same DNA as Kern passed before their younger sister. Was that MSC3 or something? Due to all that biological suffering, one I am too familiar with, they transferred those memories into the giant mech. As for who will fall next in accordance with the hierarchy, that's easy enough to predict. Okay. Dude, no! What genetic defect do you have that you're telling us about? What inbred disease? I'm begging you, Curran. Don't put yourself in danger out there. All I want is to protect you, nothing more. MC got like 6 siblings now. MC is freaking adopted right now. I mean, you can argue souls, but this is a different thing entirely. They're multiplying. There's no end to them. How many are there gonna be? Earthen, this is a transient summoning. To be clear, it's a combination of transient summoning and time leaping. Summoning oneself costs nothing, so they're making future selves summon selves from further in future. But if it's a summoning, we can break the pact. Pairing multiples of oneself to multiply. The faith of the system Utomi makes that possible. Ah, I got it. This harvest of info makes it all come together at last. Shuichi, hidden underground to guard against attacks from space, murmurs to himself with a sigh. I've been trying to figure out what the system of Utopia really is in every loop, and now I finally get it. Complete self-replication. A singularity and the use of it to hack majority rule. Singularity and the use of it to hack majority rule. Right, so the thing that Kren's doing right now, that self-replication thing, that's the same thing that the citizens are using. I mean, that's established. 23 worlds are connected to Tokyo, and the future world of Utopia has the honor of being the 23rd. The opposite of that most ancient realm, the world of the old ones. A future that has developed time travel. The fact has allowed the same being from both present and future to exist at the same time in this Tokyo. This leads to the single conclusion that new life is life able to thrive by self-replicating. This is rather close to the idea of the singularity in the field of AI development. A rule that holds that humanity creates artificial intelligence, and artificial intelligence goes on to create artificial superintelligence. At that point, humanity will need nothing else but AI. Can you imagine that the story was already heading this direction well before the AI boom began? And now it's actually just like incidentally relevant because, lo and behold, the world we live in right now. So that's the scholarly take, is it? Quite fascinating expression, acting Guildmaster of Hongo. I think I got this one searched. What's in my classes? Okay, that's better. This conclusion is one reached from all the information exchanging even up to Guildmaster of Ikebukuro. If one is to fight the opposite administrators, one must hit the streets in search of truth. The information on the system of Utopia that we shared with you ahead of time is what we heard from Instructor Mononobe directly. Of course, when it comes to this, it is not only the summoners and we of Ikebukuro that are cooperating hand in hand. We have gained the cooperation of the other members who claim membership in our mega alliance of guilds. Bamio. Though we did have trouble gaining the cooperation of the Arakawa Wanderers, most members of which lack a portal. One of our new members happened to have an in with them, a personal connection, allowing us a bridge at last. This should be, the pregnant guy. I forget his name. Sanzo, that's it. Sanzo, we rescued him, and we also through him, they rescued Bohemio, so that was a connection. I thought we were connected through Prometheus already, though. Apologies for my late introduction. Acting Hongo Guildmaster, pleased to make your acquaintance. Acting Hongo Guildmaster? Are you part of the Wiseman? I'm a new intern in Master Claude's Ikebukuro Bridal Company's subsidiary. Belphegor is the name. I appreciate the etiquette. My name is Shuichi Togo. Good to meet you. I specialize in wedding planning. If you have any desire to tie the knot with that special someone, Shuichi, just let me know. Marriage? I'm afraid the only one I have my eyes on is my brother. But otherwise, I'm not considering anything of the sort, legally speaking. I've been saying the praises of marriage all around my social circle, but the reaction I get these days aren't terribly reassuring. Well, you know, marriage is not exactly a popular perspective nowadays. I mean, Mr. Professional Matchmaker over there always says that marriage isn't realistic when you consider the future. Another friend who's in the business of being popular and beloved says he couldn't think of narrowing down his marriage prospects to just one person. I do think they have a point. Marriage is a risky business and uncertain. Me, I've been divorced once already, in this Tokyo no less. Interesting backstory you got there. If you've been through the ringer and know the flaws, Belphegor, why be so stuck on marriage? Belphegor takes a moment to think before he answers. Because, well, at the end of the day, it's other people. Vexing and unpredictable as they can be, I still love them. That, and I want to believe the dream of marriage is possible, you know? A future where you marry someone and live happily ever after? Isn't that a valid choice? Shouldn't it be one? Cool story, bro. How's that related to this one, though? Father? Solomon, if you can accept the guilt for your crimes at the limit of your wisdom, then you should return your role as overseer. If you have any interest in listening to your conscience about what you owe this Tokyo, that is. That is all my brother and I wish for. Your return to your rightful duty leads to a future with the least risk. I feel like MC should shut up here. This is a family drama. It's a pretty fucked up family drama. I think Curran does have the right to believe what she wants, even if it kind of it's right in Tokyo. In the very least, she was like kind of pretty much groomed to be in this fucked up situation, to be like an asset for the empire of the Kyoma, essentially. Kyoma and what's called the laboratory, and who was the third team? I already forgot. Kyoma, the laboratory, and MX Other. That's not your decision to make, I say, not convincingly. I told you to stay out of this. This is a problem between a father and his children. These are lame-ass excuses. Seriously, shut up. Shut up, MC. What do you mean world's dearest person? You just, what the heck? You spent the least time out of him compared to everyone else. Well, he's my teacher. Whatever. Leaving you out of the deliberation was a mercy, because the coming world is something you are unable to comprehend on a fundamental, biological level. What lies beyond is a stage of new life, with eyes to the future. You can neither know nor understand any of it. There's no seat at the table for you here. I don't need to understand it. You don't get to make that decision. Right, little Solomon? You're right about that, Master. Even if it all started with Father's request, we're here out of our own volition. And we're Father's children just as much as you are. We deserve a say in this! Wanting to know isn't a crime. Ignorance isn't evil. Oh, Solomon better mouse. How's that? Okay. Arthur, thank you. Is he summoning his inner Solomon? Ooh, we got their second battle theme, or rather the second song that Housamo made, and this is an instrumental lit. I remember the days we all spent back in that classroom. You certainly never made that pose, at least not in this art. Thank you for calling me your teacher. Back in that classroom, I was neither Solomon nor his clone. I was simply Kyoma Mononobe, and I lived as such. So if you believe in me, then even if I fear losing myself, if you believe in me, if you continue to trust me, then I can do this. Corinne, Clark, in this closed space, you are doubtless the majority. And if you truly believe that I am Solomon. Uh-oh. He just casually gets his Solomon powers because he believes it. Then as an exception, I can once again wield omniscience. Even if I am grasping at a faded phantasmal fragment of a memory. That's how he's gonna use it. Behind him, Tua Shen and Heilong manages to stand up again and ball their fists. Arthur, I never want you to forget how much you have done for us.
いいじゃんいいじゃん。
六芒
いいじゃん。
重点中重点重点重点中重点重点重点重点重点重点そして
引っ張りだこの人気でごめんね。かわいい。
重点損傷警備
This instrumental is really nice.
重点損傷警備
重点
重点中
I should have attacked that. I should have attacked it between two columns.
いいじゃんいいじゃん。
Alright, how do we do this?
やれやれ重点重点重点重点重点
重点かわいい。
重点損傷警備
重点
重点中アルスパ六芒星
重点引っ張りだこの人気でごめんね。この愛嬌に免じてかわいい。重点愛されちゃってる俺くんでした。
Alright.
それじゃあ次の配信までバイバイ。
Today, I dream again. I dream of a feature. A dream where we part. As cherry blossom petals dance in the wind, the student body sings our school songs at the ceremony. I hand you your diploma, and you take it with a smile. You will leave the nest. As you go, I am no longer your teacher. I've always dreamed of this far-off moment in the future, and no further. I never once dreamed of what I would do as I stood there with my hands empty, contemplating my future solitude. I'm sure it was a future I was unable to conceive of alone. I have a dream, you know. A plan, really. There's a certain place I want to use as a wedding venue. A place where anyone in this Tokyo, native or transient alike, can make it to eventually. And by gum, I need to make it to in this place that I have in mind, and nothing in life's chosen going to stop me. By gum, you sound so dorky. A wedding venue? What place? What are you talking about? And how is this relevant to the story? Please, why are you talking about wedding venue? Please relate it somehow. Boundless tale, change thine shape and be by my ancient faith. Take flight to the land of the rising sun. Oh, okay. So he's summoning the demon Arskowisha thing. The Lesser Solomon's Key. Against countless mechs does he pit countless demons. As if squeezing out every last ounce of his powers, as if using up every last breath of his life. He's cutely flow. Belphegor is cute, but like, let's be real. I don't like. That's a very flimsy connection to whatever's happening here. As though he has reached the end, as though he is at last certain of the finish line. He is sat. Engrave my name unto thee, boundless tale. Arthur. That's insane. That's the range. That's not even related to anything. Why are we kissing him? That's not even related to stopping exception. What the fuck? Okay, well, let's kiss him. He's getting fired. I see. You're saying that this isn't where it ends. That's deranged. Right as Kieran's forces begin pulling out of stops in his battle against Solomon, however. A long intuition risked life and limb to slip by their battle lines, and then... You don't choose that, probably for the best. I'm just morbidly curious. Also, it's just like, I don't know, man. It's like every single other kiss has been relevant. I was wondering if that kiss would be relevant. But there was like literally the first kiss in the entire main quest was just like, you can kiss him if you want. It means nothing. Especially with Kiyoma. The rabbit throws everything he has into his kick against original Curran and MC1. You know, it's a fan service moment. Everyone loves Kiyoma. Or everyone in Japan anyways. Curran. MSC1 absorbs all the impact from the blow. Or he is supposed to by all means. Curran suddenly grips her chest before he can take the blow. As though taking damage before damage is dealt. She falls to her knees. Teacher ex-student. Well, it's not even the first time. Also, at least we had the choice, unlike fucking Chenong. Chenong needs to go and stay go. The MSC1 army immediately turns to her, ceasing their attacks. She's throwing up? Are you right, Curran? Oh, now you're concerned. Keep your mouth shut. Seriously, girl. Seriously, just speak. Speak. MC needs to shut up. They're kissing their teacher, even though I picked that. They're like, they're saying, he's my father too, even though it's like you talked for like 5 minutes before he disappeared. Like, girls literally traumatized, and it's like, well, I'm important too. I need to have my peace. Dude, okay. We've never needed anything but each other. Curran, enough. Let us stop this, you. I won't let you finish that thought. And I mean it when I say no more indulging in sentimentality. I have one question for you, Solomon. How much do you know about the System of Tokyo project? System of Tokyo project? I've heard of that somewhere before. The System of Tokyo is the one that has only one rule we know of, which is the golden rule, the majority rule. Essentially, it's only in Tokyo where the majority takes hold. Gives power to whoever has majority belief. A plan to make this Tokyo the 24th paradise. A project to make a new god. It started in the laboratory when I took my post there. What about it? It's reassuring to hear that's all you know. It means MX Mother's dark matter stealth tech worked perfectly. What? MX Other regards you with caution. She worried that you would know her true plan through your omniscience. So she gave you a cover story to camouflage her plot. And that's the reason we arrived here ahead of you and waited. Your reaction just now has confirmed it to me. For me, you are no longer worthy of the name Solomon, all-knowing king. Oh! Okay, so he lost his powers because she did the thing where it's like, we don't believe you anymore. You're not Solomon. You're not all-knowing. Kyomo Mononobe, your concern is appreciated, but we will take the choice that allows us to live without it. Well, that's a cold mind. We'll take the choice that allows us to live without it, Jesus. We don't need your concern. As planned, we will abandon the Yoyogi experimental observatory, effective immediately. Let us meet next in the tower. Now then, Ayrton, know that your greatest allies, the ones who have always been by your side, they will be waiting for you as your enemies. I will say this once more, just so you understand. We have the initiative and all of the choices. I think this is the end of the prologue. Having said that, Curran vanishes from the old laboratory along with MSC1. What did she mean by this? Asked by Shuichi what place he has in mind, Buffgore points straight up and answers. Why, the one sight everyone across Tokyo can see. Tokyo Babel Tower! The very top, no less! Is this why Buffgore was ranting about marriage all this time? So that we could just foreshadow going there, even though we just foreshadowed going there? Ow! They really did number on me, I tell you what. Are you alright, Tuishin? Oh hey, what are those papers you have in your hand there? I was just taking back what they took of me. Slipped it right out of our pocket. The stacks of paper appeared to be single reports with the title written across the cover page. The system of Tokyo. Alternative? And thus the plot unfolds yet again. As we're getting too much questions answered, it's time to unroll some more questions. A new laboratory with a new portal, constructed after abandoning the Yoyogi experimental observatory. An alternative of sorts, prepared by the administrators of the game. Tokyo Babel Tower looms over the city, awaiting your intrusion. Prologue. End. Chapter 16 Prologue. Outer Ward. Beat me! Do we want to play different music? Yeah, let's do it. Let's play some music that we're not going to hear for quite a bit. So, that is it for today's playthrough of Tokyo Afterschool Summoners Chapter 16, the entirety of the prologue. We'll be continuing with the next 2 episode bundles tomorrow. And I believe all part 1 has released, which entails 8 different episode bundles. We finished 2 today. Tomorrow we'll finish 2 more. And then next week, and we'll probably do 2 more episode bundles. So like that's 12, am I doing my math properly? 3, 6, 12, 24 parts in total. Look forward to it. But yeah, my thoughts. I'll keep it brief. It's super cool. It's nice to see the story moving along. And I did very much appreciate when Keilong was giving his sad backstory and then Tua was just like, I'm out of here. Let's go to the main story. We need more of that, please. But yeah, look forward to more tomorrow. Probably the same time, 7 p.m. And yeah, I'm glad to be doing this again. If you let me know if there was any sound issues. Actually, I'll just check out the VOD myself after. And can't wait to unlock the new quests. But otherwise, that's it. I will see you guys tomorrow. Stay beautiful, cuties. Peace.